supply to the consumers. Pakistan has strongly rejected the totally untenable and Indian irresponsible statement on the unanimously adopted outcomes and resolutions of the 48th session of the OIC Foreign Ministers. Japan and South Korea have strongly condemned the Intercontinental Ballistic missile launched by North Korea. Australia won the 3-match Test series by 1-0, beating Pakistan by 115 runs in third and final match in Lahore today. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Imran Khan has urged the youth to stand against the corrupt elements who are involved to buy the conscience of the elected representative. Addressing a public gathering in Mansehra today, he said these corrupt elements cannot buy sincere leaders. Imran Khan said the aim of opposition to bring no confidence move is only to blackmail us for NRO, but it will never be given to them. He said we struggle for passing a resolution in the United Nations and become successful in the passage of resolution to observe 15th March every year as a day against Islamophobia. Imran Khan said the United Nations has decided that no one will be allowed to hurt the feelings of Muslims in the name of freedom of expression. The Prime Minister said Pakistan will certainly flourish by following the teachings of Holy Prophet ﷺ and maintaining justice, equality and rule of law in society. Chief Minister Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, Mahmood Khan and Federal Minister for Railway Azam Khan Sawati also addressed the public gathering. President Dr. Arif Alvi says there are vast opportunities of investment in Pakistan, urging the foreign investors to take advantage of business-friendly environment in the country. Talking to a British business delegation in Islamabad today, he said Pakistan and Britain enjoy excellent economic and trade relations and the British businessmen should invest in different sectors of Pakistan's economy. The President said the government is encouraging investment in special zones by offering incentives to the investors. Government has approved a 10% tax relief on import of edible oil for the next 2 months. The approval was given by Finance Minister Shaukat Tareen at a meeting in Islamabad today, keeping in view the increase in the prices of edible oil in the international market. The step has been taken to ensure smooth supply of edible oil to consumers. Meanwhile, in a tweet, the Finance Minister said sugar production is likely to increase by 2 million tons from the existing production of 7.5 million tons recorded last year. He said as a result, Pakistan is back to sugar plus country from deficit. Shaukat Tareen said the ex-mill sugar prices are now around 81 rupees per kilogram, which is sustainably lower than last year. Minister for Education and Professional Training Shafqat Mahmood inaugurated NAVTEC Centre of Excellence in Modern Technologies in Islamabad today. Speaking on the occasion, the minister emphasized the need of establishing more such centres of excellence to provide training to the youth in state-of-the-art cutting-edge technologies which are in high demand internationally and in industry. He said the government gives top priority to the technical and vocational education and training sector and has provided 10 billion rupees under NAVTEC's Prime Minister's Skills for All Kamyab Jawan program. The National Assembly met briefly at a Parliament House in Islamabad today with the Speaker Asad Kaisar in the chair. At the outset, the House offered Fatiha for the departed soul of late MNA Khayal Zaman and those killed in the recent attacks of terrorism in the country. The chair, in his remarks, said it is the parliamentary tradition to adjourn the House after Fatiha on the first day of session held after the death of a member. He said this is done to honour the late member of the National Assembly. On the no-confidence motion, the chair said he will act in accordance with the Constitution. Later, the session was adjourned to meet again on Monday at 4 p.m. Foreign Minister Shah Mahmood Qureshi has presented a constitutional amendment bill to Speaker National Assembly Asad Kaisar for establishment of South Punjab province. On the request of the Foreign Minister, the Speaker directed to make the bill part of the agenda of the House on Monday. In his remarks, Shah Mahmood Qureshi said the establishment of South Punjab province is part of election manifesto of Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf. He said he has presented the constitutional amendment bill to the Speaker on the directions of Prime Minister Imran Khan. This is Radio Pakistan. Pakistan has strongly rejected the totally untenable and irresponsible statement by the Indian Ministry of External Affairs on the unanimously adopted outcomes and resolutions of the 48th session of the Organization of Islamic Cooperation Council of Foreign Ministers held in Islamabad this week. In a press release, Foreign Office spokesperson Asim Iftikhar said, "Devoid of any logic or substance, the Indian statement reflects the frustration of a country that stands exposed and isolated." He said the OIC has a long-standing principled position in the support of the legitimate struggle of the Kashmiri people for their right to self-determination granted to them by the relevant resolutions of the UN Security Council. The spokesperson said the OIC has accordingly condemned massive human rights abuses in Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir and firmly rejected India's illegal and unilateral actions of 5th August 2019 and subsequent steps aimed at altering the demographic composition of the occupied territory. In Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir, the Modi-led fascist Indian regime has started attaching properties of the Kashmiris in one pretext or another, rendering Kashmiri Muslims homeless. The process of attaching immovable properties under the Black Law Unlawful Activities Prevention Act has been started from Srinagar district in Kashmir Valley. Senior Superintendent of Police Rakesh Balwal has confirmed that over 12 houses have been identified in Shura, Pantha Chowk, Batamola, Nogam and Harwan areas of Srinagar for attachment. Japan and South Korea have strongly condemned Intercontinental ballistic missile launched by North Korea, terming it blatant and serious threats to the global peace. The condemnation was made by Chinese Foreign Minister Yakushima Haishe and his South Korean counterpart Chang Hu-yang during their telephone conversation. Meanwhile, in a statement, the Japanese Foreign Ministry called for entire denuclearization of North Korea in accordance with the UN Security Council resolutions. The United States and European Union have announced a plan to reduce Europe's dependence on Russian fossil fuels following the invasion of Ukraine. The plan was jointly unveiled by US President Joe Biden and European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen while addressing a news conference in Brussels today. Under the agreement, the joint task force will be established to curtail the bloc's reliance on Russian imports. The United States will work with its partners to ensure an additional 15 billion cubic meters of liquefied natural gas for the European Union by the end of this year. Australia won the 3-match Test series by 1-0, beating Pakistan by 115 runs in third and final match in Lahore today. The scores: Australia 391 and 227, 4-3 declared, Pakistan 268 and 235 all out. Pat Cummins of Australia, who captured 5 wickets in first and 3 wickets in second innings, was declared player of the match. Usman Khawaja of Australia, who scored 496 runs in the series, was declared player of the match. Meanwhile, the first one-day international of 3-match series between the two teams will be played in Lahore on Tuesday. Finally, the weather report. Mainly hot and dry weather is expected in most parts of the country during the next 12 hours. Now some of the headlines once again. Prime Minister has urged the youth to stand up against corrupt elements involved in buying the conscience of elected representatives. President has invited foreign investors to take advantage of business-friendly environment of Pakistan. Government has approved 10% tax relief on import of edible oil for the next 2 months to ensure its smooth supply to the consumers. And that is the end of the news. For more news and analysis, log on to our website radio.gov.pk and also watch live video streaming of our bulletin on the link facebook.com/Radio Pakistan News Official.